Welcome back to the studio after that exciting match. A really, really good close match with two of my kind of favorite types of setups, like brawly, blaster, in-your-face setups, where they're kind of
blasters, heavy drones.
Yeah, when they just sat there and they just punched each other.
But I really like how once you move past the like Talos kind of F1 blaster setups that don't do a whole lot, they just charge and you know, whatever. Basically, there's simple versions. These are the complex versions of these setups where they're doing a lot of things besides just punching each other in the face. They do that too, and that's really great. But I think a lot of the kind of the details in the way these setups work decided how this match went, and it's interesting to see the small variations face off, even though the sort of theme was very similar.
And I think it was flown really well by Raging Homo Sapiens this match. That Vexer holding on for such a long time was really, really good. And as soon as you saw, as soon as one of the Inquisitors went down, the parental advisory just kind of crumbled.
Yeah, and really the parental advisory team was already far behind at that point, because at that point they lost all of the Vexers. The kind of moment where things like they really should have done something differently was when they charged right in at the beginning. Raging Homo Sapiens did the smart thing. They actually pulled back. They stood still and then pulled back once they saw that they were being charged. And that's what allowed a lot of damage to be applied to the first parental advisory Vexer before really any damage was hitting on the Homo Sapiens team.
Yeah.
You know what's... oh shoot, I was just thinking of something that was interesting to me about this match and then I forgot. Oh, I was thinking it's interesting they banned the Oneros and how smart it is that Raging Homo Sapiens just stuck with this setup and went for the Guardian. Parental advisory actually has no way to deal with the logistics. Like they don't have frags to tackle. They don't really have any way to get back and get to a Guardian. So switching didn't cost them all that much. Raging Homo Sapiens really had no problem switching. Whereas if they would have actually switched setups into shields or something, it could have cost them a lot more. So that's kind of an interesting set of decisions there.
Did they then want to kind of go up against a no logistics kind of thing? Because they, like you say, they don't have really anything to catch logistics, let alone catch two logistics frigates.
I think they wanted to go up against a shield team. Less effective hit points, a Sleipnirs or something.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that matchup yet of like the standard kind of Sleipnir team versus this. I think it'll be a very interesting match to see. I actually don't know for sure who'd win.
I've seen it sounds like a really pilot kind of FC sensitive match as well. But
that ban suggests to me that the Starday team, the Tri guys who we've seen now from two of the Triumvirate teams, so obviously they're practicing against each other and have seen it from each other, that they feel at least that it can beat Sleipnir.
Yes, that would be my guess as well,
Yeah, and just a correction, I did say before that this is the first Tri team out. This is actually the second of our three purely Tri teams out, which means we're now down to Uno Vumbrit.
Which makes me super sad, because that means that we can't see those three Tri teams take first, second, and third.
No, we can't. But you know,
is Uno Latin for one?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Uno is Latin and Spanish. No, it's one in Spanish.
It's like that kind of thing. Is that kind like it's similar in a lot of the Romance languages.
It's probably it.
As we debate the origins of words here on EFTV.
You know how you say it in Icelandic? It.
Sometimes you say Eina or whatever.
No, Eina is like the female. You're asking for like.
Anyways,
Icelandic is terrible.
The good news for the Tri guys,
it's really great. I like it.
That they're the one team they do have left is the Volta team, the Rampage guys,
right.
And that is one of our strongest teams, and they're in the winners bracket, so we expect them to go far. And
do you think that there's kind of a would you expect? I wonder with a really good team, a team that's had really good results like the Volta team, do they say, hey guys, we can teach you to be really good, you should get more teams in the tournament, like we can kind of coach and
perhaps
we need practice partners
getting
anyway.
Practice partners is huge,
I don't
also,
know.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of new people in the tournament this time around. We're seeing some of them do fairly good. We're seeing some of them kind of stumble over the rookie mistakes, but we don't see them making those mistakes again. Once they get into the losers bracket, we don't see people making the same mistakes. So you see kind of future tournament teams evolving in this tournament and kind of like I'm just already super excited for the next New Eden Open, because I don't know how that landscape is going to be when it comes to tournament teams.
You know what else I'm expecting is going to be really good after all of this? The Alliance Tournament Tri team.
Yes,
because they're going to be very deep. They're getting a lot of the practice from this. That is, of course, assuming that they don't collapse between now and then. Yes, which it is Triumvirate. You never know. Any day now, they could be gone.
So I actually don't have the bands here for the next match for some reason.
So next match is 8-cast Cena Thomas, correct?
Yep.
Yes. I have the bands.
So if you could just run over those for us.
Yes. So 8-cast has banned the Balgorn and the Dominix, and Cena Thomas has banned the Armageddon and the Ishtar.
Interesting.
Lots of Newt's been banned.
Yeah, I was going to say probably at least one Marauder in this matchup. Definitely interesting. Have either of these teams brought Marauders so far in the tournament? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
8-cast, no. Right?
I don't think so, no.
They
can't
brought the
remember
Navy
their
Ravens,
They had the
right?
Navy Ravens that burned out.
That's right,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
And in both matches, actually, they brought through Navy Ravens.
Yes. Yeah, it worked out better for them the second match.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to bring Navy Ravens this time around.
That's a good question. That's always one of the kind of
Wouldn't you just
fun-
ban a Navy Raven against them?
I don't know.
It's not
you just
that
have a plan
good.
to beat it. I mean, it can be pretty good. It's very similar to the Fleet Foons, really.
Did they bring it with Frig Logistics?
No.
In the one they won, I think they did.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember.
Let's
I'm
none of
not
us
positive.
look. Let's just guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll look when we're
Yeah.
not on camera.
I think if you're like in the scheme of things, trying to bring a setup that can deal with that with the Navy Ravens seems smarter to me than trying to make them do something else. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what could probably deal with the Navy Ravens? The Golem.
yes.
That is true.
And no one's banned the Golem, and the two of the ships that the Golem is most worried about, the Balgorn and the Armageddon,
Yep.
both banned.
So, I'm wondering if we were to see, for instance, a mirror golem setup, you would have both teams bring a golem. Like,
That's a good-
we would
that's a
we
good
end up
question.
with two golems just sitting at
certainly
across from
possible.
each other, just shooting each other endlessly.
It would come down to the point. It would definitely go to time. Almost
Well-
definitely. It depends on what else in the rest of the team, but it would be hard to fit in unless you're like all stealth bombers.
One thing that seems to happen with Marauder setups is that their overall DPS as a team is not actually all that high. So I could imagine a golem versus golem game where one team didn't actually manage to finish everything off just because of time.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I think it would be almost impossible for either the golems to die in that match.
no, the golems wouldn't die, of course, but I'm saying
Yeah. So that means
the
it-
side teams that you would
Yeah.
have like some,
Yep.
support frigate
It would
left.
come down to
or-
points. It would be who has more side
Yeah.
team stuff
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
But it would definitely go to the full 10 minutes
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
golems would be
So
alive.
effectively at that point, you could just chuck both golems out the window and just
You could.
have the two.
We should
teams
have
just
that
fight.
rule. If you have
Yeah.
two marauders, they both get. Actually,
That's a pretty good
I
rule.
really like that rule for next time. It'll be like the Magic Legend rule where they like neutralize each other and they're gone.
We should
Yeah,
just do
that's-
that anytime both teams bring the
Do the
same
same
marauder. Just that marauder is out.
Just whenever both teams bring
Yes.
sentry setups, all
Marauders
all
are now
sentry
legendary cards. Done.
But no, what would happen if there was actually, like, if they did clear off both the support teams? You have like a pretty high
It
DPS.
would go to the super speed
It would go to
tie-dye.
the highest
Yes.
side-eye max, and then eventually someone would like not hit a shield booster fast enough after a reload. Or
Somebody
something
would like
that.
run out of
Caps.
out of
Cap
cap
charges.
boost charges or ammo, whichever comes out first.
Okay.
And then it would come down to whoever has more damage at the beginning of the match. So
Yes.
let's hope one
Let's
way or another
hope
it's
this
gonna be
does
weird.
happen.
It would answer a lot of questions if it does.
Yeah.
It would also be quite a while before the match finishes. But
Yes.
we
Well,
can
it
fill
would
time.
be the match would extend to 15 minutes approximately.
We could just play Flappy Bird.
Yes.
It would
But I
be-
mean, I think that would actually be pretty interesting, both because we would see how it eventually goes, and also you would get to see just two golems sitting there fighting each
Yeah.
other in 7 times tie-dye with like nothing happening. So it's just like,
Missiles.
By the
constantly
way,
flying back and forth.
if you don't know what we mean by 7 times side-eye, we do have a tiebreaker in this
Yes.
tournament where if we end up with points tied at the end of 10 minutes, we start speeding up time using tie-dye instead of slowing it down, which is what usually tie-dye is used for. And if you're wondering what that looks like, go back to the first weekend, watch some of the matches. There was a match
There's
with
a
8 casts
8 casts.
that did go to time, and it was pretty fun to watch what happened. So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen that, go check it out.
so our match is ready.
Great.
So let's get our predictions before we jump into the match. CCV Fozzy.
I'm going to go with the Cena Thomas team. Defending champions, knocked down into the losers bracket by We Hurt, but I don't think 8-Cast is quite the hype train that We Hurt is. So.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cena Thomas team as well. A really strong, solid tournament team that got run over by the train last week, but I think they're going to tear through the losers bracket. But let's see how it goes.